Let me ask you something. What if 90% of your thoughts weren't really yours? What if the way you dress, what you eat, what you believe, and even what you want in life was just a reflection of the people around you? You think you're making decisions. You think you're in control. But the truth is you're copying. Not because you're weak, not because you're stupid, but because your brain is wired that way. Most of your habits, you didn't choose them. You absorbed them through comfort, through imitation, through sheer survival instinct. You laugh like the people around you. You speak like them. You define success like them. And most of the time you want exactly what they want, simply because they want it. Welcome to the prison of social proof. An invisible system you've been dropped into without your consent. And the scariest part? You didn't even notice the walls closing in. But today you will. And once you see it for what it is, you can finally break out for good. Part 1. The diagnosis. You're following without realizing it. You're under the influence, not of alcohol, not of ads or media. Something way more subtle. You're under the influence of your surroundings, your friends, your environment, your social feeds, every voice you let inside your mind. You think you're the one steering the wheel. But the truth is, you're driving a car with someone else's GPS. Your brain doesn't want truth. It wants safety. Let's get this straight. Your brain is not designed to seek truth. It's designed to seek safety. And the fastest way it feels safe, doing what everyone else is doing, it's hardwired. It goes back to when being rejected by the tribe meant getting eaten by a lion. If everyone runs, you run. If everyone laughs, you laugh. If everyone looks up, you look up too. No questions asked? That ancient reflex? Yeah, it's still running. Except now it's not protecting you from lions. It's trapping you inside social norms. Cialdini's Social Proof, The Science of Imitation. In 1984, psychologist Robert Cialdini dropped a bomb. Social proof is one of the strongest forces in human behavior. When you're unsure what to do, you look at others and copy. It's why crowded restaurants feel safer than empty ones. It's why you trust a video with 1 million views more than one with 100. It's why you hit like when you see that everyone else already has. What's happening? Your brain confuses popularity with truth, and you fall for it every single day. Jim Rohn was right. You are the average of the 5 people around you. This isn't just a catchy quote. It's a psychological law. Emotions are contagious. Beliefs are contagious. Ambitions are contagious. You don't live in a vacuum. You live in an ecosystem. And that ecosystem shapes you in silence. You want to grow? Then take a hard look at the people closest to you, because they're either pulling you back or pushing you forward. Hang out with complainers. You'll complain. Hang out with small thinkers. You'll shrink. Watch creators who make empty, shallow content. You'll feed on emptiness. You cannot evolve in an environment that resists your evolution. Period. Naval Ravikant's radical approach. Choose your friends like you. Choose your future. Naval Ravikant. The investor philosopher puts it bluntly, I don't spend time with people I don't want to become. He's strategic about his circle. Not because he's arrogant, but because he's awake. He knows that every conversation, every influence, every piece of content is shaping the person he's becoming, and he refuses to let randomness decide his future. Now ask yourself, are you choosing your circle with intention, or are you just accepting whoever shows up? Cal Newport. Digital minimalism equals mental freedom. Let's talk about another example. Cal Newport. He wrote deep work in digital minimalism, and he straight up quit social media. Not because he's old school, but because he refuses to let algorithms hijack his attention. His philosophy? Every like, every scroll, every post you consume is shaping your thoughts. What you consume consumes you. That's the punchline. The ideas you let into your mind become the ideas that run your life. If you consume noise, you'll think in noise. If you feed on fear, you'll act from fear. If you feed on courage, you'll start breaking free. Silent conformity. The most dangerous trap, the scariest thing about social proof. It doesn't just influence you, it does it without your awareness. You dress a certain way because it's acceptable. You think a certain way because everyone does. You hold back your truth to avoid rocking the boat. And you call it being smart, being realistic, being professional. But let's be real. You're just being compliant, not because you chose to be, but because you were afraid to be different. End of part 1. This is the wake-up call. Here's what you've just realized. Your personality might not be as personal as you thought. You are in large part the product of the people, content, and beliefs you surround yourself with. And as long as you don't choose your environment consciously, it will keep choosing you. But now, you see it. You see the system. You see the trap. And in part 2, you'll find out how this system really works, so you can stop being shaped and start shaping yourself. Part 2, why you copy others and what to do about IT. Now that you've seen how deeply your environment shapes you, let's go deeper. Because copying other people isn't a weakness. It's not laziness. It's actually built into your brain. You're not broken, you're human. And if you want to escape the system, you need to understand the system. Your brain is a normality detector. Your brain is constantly scanning your surroundings for one thing. What's considered normal here? Once it finds the answer, it adapts. Automatically. Why? Because millennia of evolution trained you that way. Belonging to the group equals safety. Standing out equals potential danger. And even today, no lions, no tribal exile, that ancient software still runs silently in the background. This is why, when you don't know what to do, you look around and copy. You don't even notice it happening. Social proof, the invisible force that runs your life. Robert Cialdini, in his book Influence, explains that social proof becomes especially powerful in 3 specific situations. When things are unclear, the more uncertain you are, the more you look to others for guidance. What's everyone else doing becomes your inner compass. When people are similar to you, we copy those who look, think, or live like us, often unconsciously. When a large number of people are doing the same thing, the more people do it, the more we assume, this must be right. Want proof? Why do you trust a product labeled #1 bestseller? Why do you pick the restaurant that's packed with people? Why do you stop scrolling when you see a video with 1.2 million views? Because your brain makes a dangerous shortcut. Popular equals good. And that belief, it's often completely wrong. Imitation is a shortcut, but it has a cost. Let's be honest, your brain can't calculate every decision from scratch, so it relies on shortcuts, mental heuristics. That's efficient until it's not. You don't pick the best option, you pick the most familiar one. You don't choose what's right for you. You choose what's been pre-approved by the crowd. And this is how people end up living lives that aren't even theirs. A job they never truly chose. Beliefs they inherited, not questioned. A lifestyle that looks good on Instagram, but empties them inside. That's the danger of unconscious imitation. Malcolm Gladwell. Ideas spread like viruses in the tipping point. Malcolm Gladwell describes how behaviors and beliefs spread like infections. It only takes a handful of committed people to spark massive change. That's the tipping point, when a small idea becomes a social epidemic. Now here's the punchline. You're constantly exposed to this. Ideas are infecting you all the time. You hear 3 people say they meditate, suddenly you're considering it. You see 5 creators preaching hustle culture, you feel like you're falling behind. You get flooded with videos about quitting your job. You start to doubt yours. Repetition turns noise into truth. The more an idea is repeated, the more it feels like common sense, even if it's nonsense. The experiment that exposed how easily we conform. There's a famous experiment in social psychology. A participant walks into a waiting room. A random alarm goes off. Everyone else, all actors, stands up for no reason. What does the real participant do? They look around, they hesitate. Then they stand up too. No logic, no explanation, just following the group. That's the power of social norms. They don't force you. They pull you in, gently, silently, and irresistibly. So what does that mean for you? It means you could be building an entire life based on borrowed ideas, on goals you didn't set, on values you never truly questioned. You think you're thinking for yourself, but chances are you're just running code you didn't write. And yes, that includes smart people, educated people, self-aware people. Nobody's immune. But here's the good news. Realizing this is not a death sentence. It's a doorway. Because once you're aware of the programming, you can rewrite it. You can't stop copying, but you can choose who you copy. Here's where it gets powerful. You can't switch off your mimetic instincts, but you can steer them. You can choose who you spend time with, what kind of content you feed your mind, which creators you follow, what kind of environment you build, what messages you allow into your inner world. That's not control. That's sovereignty. And that's exactly what we'll unpack in part 3. End of part 2. You can't escape influence, but you can hack it. Influence is like gravity. You can't escape it, but you can learn to use it to your advantage. You can design your inputs, filter your world, and curate the people and ideas that shape the next version of you. So the real question is, are you being shaped passively or are you shaping yourself on purpose? In Part 3, we'll break down exactly how to take your power back, a full audit of your current influences, a framework for designing your own personal board of advisors, and how to turn your social media into a tool for growth instead of mental junk food. Let's do it. Act 3. How to take back control. Choose your influences consciously. You can't escape social proof. You can't delete the influence your environment has on you, but here's what you can do. You can choose it. What once shaped you without permission can now become a tool for transformation. Here's how you start using influence instead of being used by it. 1. Audit your top 5 influences like your life depends on it, because it does. You've probably heard this quote from Jim Rohn: "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But in the modern world, people doesn't just mean coworkers or friends. It includes the content you watch on YouTube, the podcasts you play on repeat, the creators you follow on Instagram or TikTok, the voices you let into your ears and your mind. Here's your action step. Take out a piece of paper. Write down the 5 people you physically spend the most time with, the 5 digital voices you consume the most, the 5 environments you show up in every week, your job, gym, social circles, etc. Now ask yourself, are these people helping me rise or keeping me stuck? Are these environments empowering me or draining me? Are these inputs aligned with who I want to become? Be brutally honest, because clarity is the beginning of real freedom. 2. Curate your social media like it's your mental diet. Social media isn't the enemy. Passive consumption is. Mindless scrolling, empty entertainment, mental junk food. That's what's hijacking your clarity. So it's time to flip the script. Turn your feed into your personal growth engine. Start by removing accounts that drain you emotionally, pages that feed insecurity or comparison, content that entertains but leaves you feeling empty. Replace them with creators who share meaningful ideas, thinkers who challenge you to grow, mentors, virtual or real, who embody the values you want to live by. Your feed is either fueling your evolution or feeding your distraction. Choose wisely. 3. Build your personal advisory board. Inspired by Naval Ravikant. Maybe you don't have the perfect circle of people around you right now. That's okay. Here's a powerful alternative. Create your personal advisory board. Pick 5 to 7 individuals, alive or dead, whose minds you admire. These are your intellectual mentors. They can be authors like Nietzsche, Seneca, Viktor Frankl, entrepreneurs like Naval Ravikant, Sahil Bloom, Paul Graham, modern thinkers like Ryan Holiday, Cal Newport, or even YouTube creators. Regularly ask yourself, how would this person think in my situation? What advice would they give me right now? This isn't about idolizing anyone. It's about aligning yourself with ideas that stretch you. You don't just need more motivation. You need higher-level perspectives guiding your decisions. 4. Design an environment that reflects your values, not your fears. Want to change your life? Don't start with willpower. Start with your environment, because your surroundings are constantly nudging you toward greatness or toward comfort. Make simple upgrades. Rearrange your workspace to boost focus. Turn off unnecessary phone notifications. Choose who you spend time with more intentionally. You don't need discipline of steel. What you really need is a smart environment that supports your goals. Create a space that encourages clarity, protects your attention, surrounds you with people who already live the way you want to live. Change your environment and you'll change faster than you ever thought possible. 5. Trade social validation for self-alignment. Here's the trap that keeps most people stuck. They live for likes, approval, and applause, but they feel empty on the inside. Why? Because validation is cheap, but alignment is rare. So ask yourself this hard question. Am I doing this to be liked or because it's true to who I am? Because here's the truth. Social proof says, fit in, do what they do. Your inner voice says, do what feels right, even if it's unpopular. If you keep chasing external validation, you'll live a life that looks good on paper, but feels hollow inside. But if you choose alignment, you might not impress everyone, but you'll finally respect yourself. And that's where real freedom begins. Final takeaway. You've always been influenced, but now you're in charge. Remember how we started this video? What if 90% of your thoughts weren't even yours? Well, now you know. The system is real. The influence is everywhere. But now you also know you can audit your inputs. You can filter your feed. You can build an inner circle of intentional, inspiring voices. You can reshape your environment to support your future, not your past. You were always influenced, But starting today, you get to influence yourself. That's not just mindset, that's power. That's the beginning of becoming who you really are. Take a second and choose not to sleepwalk through life. If this video sparked something in you, if it challenged, inspired, or even just slightly woke you up, don't just move on. What you do right now in the next few seconds could be the moment everything starts to shift. Like this video, not just for the algorithm, but to help it reach someone else who needs this wake-up call. Comment below. What influence are you cutting out or consciously choosing to bring into your life starting today? Share this video with one person you care about, someone who's still stuck in the invisible trap we just exposed. And most importantly, subscribe to become who you are. Because this isn't just a channel, it's a toolbox for self-mastery. Every video you'll get powerful insights, practical tools, radical mindset shifts, all designed to help you stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. Join a community of people who are done being passengers in their own lives. And remember, you don't break free by copying the crowd. You break free by finally choosing to be yourself.